Democrats are just proving more and more that their party is so out of touch with the American people. Senator Chris Coons actually defended the USAID paying for Sesame Street in Iraq, saying it was smart and even necessary to preventing kids from dying. Yeah, I really wish I was making this stuff up, guys, but I'm really not making this up at all. The Democratic senator, he even said that the USAID spending about $30 billion is a small portion of our total federal spending. Then maybe they should start spending more of this money on actual Americans. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Now, seriously, guys, this is why people are saying that the whole Democratic Party belongs in prison. And it's not just Senator Chris Coons. House Representative and squad member Ilhan Omar also appeared to downplay the billions of dollars of USAID spending, saying that this money really amounts to less than 1% of what our budget is as a country. Well, you know what I found out about Omar recently? That her own privileged daughter claims she's homeless and can't get food after being kicked out of her prestigious $90,000 per year Bernard College dorm following her arrest at the anti-Israel protest on Columbia University's campus. Her daughter saying she's homeless? Really? For real, guys? The Congresswoman earns currently a congressional salary of $174,000 per year, and her own privileged daughter is claiming she is homeless? I guess what billionaire and Trump ally Elon Musk said was right. The corrupt politicians protesting outside the USAID building are the ones getting money from USAID. That's where the money is going. They want your stolen tax dollars in their bank accounts. And we have the evidence to back this up, guys. For one, former USAID official Mark Moyer, he worked in the department from 2018 to 2019. He admitted that the USAID was rife with corruption as staffers were intent on subverting the president's will on policy matters and sending taxpayer dollars overseas to further DEI and LGBT advocacy initiatives. And of course, when all else fails, they turn to their fallback plan, which is to impeach President Trump. I mean, guys, it took precisely 16 days for a Democrat to threaten to impeach the president. Representative Al Green sure got what was coming to him as an earful on air when he was roasted live on C-SPAN by a true American patriot. And yes, we have the video for you guys, so stay tuned for that one. He's about to get cooked. Real quick, appreciate you guys hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and for sharing this video. I appreciate the support, you guys. So first, you got to see this one. Senator Chris Coons playing all sorts of verbal and mental gymnastics just so he can defend spending American taxpayer dollars on Sesame Street in Iraq. Here, watch this.
This isn't just funding a kid show for children, millions of children in countries like Iraq. It's a show that helps teach values, helps teach public health, helps prevent kids from dying from dysentery and disease, and helps push values like collaboration, peacefulness, cooperation in a society where the alternative is ISIS, extremism, and terrorism. And to your point, it's pennies on the dollar. The U.S. Department of Defense has an annual budget of about $850 billion. USAID was spending about $30 billion. It is a small proportion of our total federal spending. And as Joe and I would often say, it's not just soft power, it's smart power.
I mean, I don't think it's really that hard to understand. We, the people, don't want our taxpayer dollars leaving America. Period. Let me know if you guys are with me on this one, all right? Because what exactly is going to happen if Elmo and the gang don't get paid? I think what more Americans would agree on is that the U.S. government wastes a ridiculous amount of money on stuff that it really shouldn't be doing. I mean, come on. This is not even that controversial, is it? I thought that this is one of the rare issues that people on both sides could actually agree on. Well, turns out I was wrong. So a few weeks ago, President Donald Trump appointed Elon Musk to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, to crack down on wasteful spending and shrink the bloated government. Sounds like a solid plan, right? And then this week, we got an even clearer picture of just how crazy some of the spending has actually been. In fact, the Trump administration announced that they're shutting down USAID, the United States Agency for International Development, which had a whopping $40 billion budget dedicated to foreign aid. And when you see what they're spending money on, it's no wonder Trump decided to go ahead and pull the plug on those jokers. So here's just a few of the examples the White House gave. $1.5 million to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces. Most of Americans don't even know where Serbia is. $2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam, $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala, $6 million to boost tourism in Egypt, $20 million to create Sesame Street for Iraq. Wait, what? Yep, you heard that right, guys. While you were cutting a check to the IRS, USAID was handing over millions to a nonprofit group called Sesame Workshop to create an Iraq version of Sesame Street called Ilhan Iraq to, as they say, promote inclusion, mutual respect, and understanding across ethnic, religious, and sectarian groups. Yeah. For real, guys. And just in case you guys are wondering just how they justified this, USAID's now deleted website explained that Iraq was struggling to find a new sense of normalcy after years of war and terrorism. Their reasoning, the country's youth, especially those affected by ISIS, needed stability. That Iraqi youth, who made up over half of the population, are unable to find jobs in an economy strained by war and corruption, creating vulnerabilities to radicalization. And so they thought Sesame Street was going to be the answer. Look, I like Big Bird and Snuffleupagus and the gang as much as the next guy, but when we got homeless veterans struggling here at home, why are we spending millions of dollars on kids shows in a country that we just spent 20 years at war with? Can somebody help me explain this? Maybe I'm just dumb. Perhaps that's the case. I don't know. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below. Now, of course, while normal people are actually calling out the insanity, Democrats are rushing to defend USAID, even its spending on Iraqi Sesame Street. Case in point, Senator Chris Coons, he went on CNN using the classic "kids will die without it" argument. But what really got under my skin was this line from the Democratic senator. It's pennies on the dollar. USAID's budget is only $30 billion compared to the Defense Department's $850 billion. Only $30 billion. You know, it's always only when it's not your money or when that money is somehow getting siphoned back into your own pocket. Just another example of how politicians in DC just don't give a flying flip about how your taxpayer dollars are being spent. And it's not just USAID, guys. The Biden State Department has also been caught spending taxpayer money on essential products like a transgender opera in Colombia, a DEI musical in Ireland, and an LGBT comic book in Peru. But hey, it's not their money, so, you know, I guess it's okay to spend money on these ridiculous programs. So why should they care, right? Guys, hit the like button, drop a quick yes in the comments down below if I'm making sense to you guys. Also, subscribe to the channel, turn on all notifications so you know when we drop these hard-hitting analysis videos just like this one. All right, let's get back to it. From Senator Chris Coons, we proceed to another deranged argument, this time coming from Congresswoman and squad member Ilhan Omar. And yes, guys, this is still about USAID. Watch.
You have been making an argument for USAID. Yes, thank you so much. That USAID kept your family fed, kept them safe. But I wonder, because there are Americans who want the money that America spends abroad to be spent at home instead, and they're agreeing with this USAID move, and they don't want to help the Ilhan Omars or their families. They want to help their own families. Can you explain to those people why you think they should be interested in helping families like yours?
Well, I mean, I think what is really important for the American people to understand is that this money really amounts to less than 1% of what our budget is as a country. It is money that goes to the most vulnerable around the world. It is already appropriated and it can't be reappropriated. And so what we are seeing right now is Elon Musk, a billionaire who is attempting to take away resources from the poorest people around the world. This is someone who is not a government official. He wasn't elected. He's not appointed. He holds foreign debt and foreign interests. And so we should all look at this with cautious eyes and with curiosity to understand why he is making these decisions and why he's being allowed to make these decisions. I also want to remind people, yes, this agency was created with an executive order from John F. Kennedy, but it was also congressionally appropriated in 1998. And so there is no authority that rests within the executive that allows them to sidestep the congressional power that we have to create these agencies and to allocate resources.
And those things about congressional authority, they may be true, but there's a lot of people out there who agree with this move philosophically. What do you say to them?
Well, I don't understand why they would agree with it philosophically. We are looking at this reckless decision that was made that took away the jobs of so many Americans who are working here in the United States and abroad. These were people who are locked out of their offices, locked out of their emails. We have crisis response teams that are abroad that are locked out of the resources that they need in case their lives were in danger. So what Elon Musk is doing is actually risking the lives of Americans by making this decision.
Seriously, these people don't know when to quit. This confusing rant from the Democratic representative made the rounds online, and here's what someone commented. Ilhan Omar's first and only alliance will always be to Somali. Let's do her and the U.S. a favor and send her home. Yeah. How about that? I mean, did you guys hear what they said in the clip? That USAID's money is less than 1% of what our budget is as a country, and that Elon Musk is a billionaire who is attempting to take away resources from the poorest people around the world. But you know what she didn't say? That the agency that she's so strongly defending is actually funding large grants for Palestinian initiatives, Afghan aid programs that have a significant risk of ending up in Taliban hands, and indirectly funding the Wuhan Institute of Virology. In fact, the U.S. doled out $68 billion to foreign aid in 2023, with over $17 billion going to Ukraine. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who was appointed as USAID's new acting administrator, said what we're all thinking right now. He said, they're sending taxpayer money here. These are not donor dollars. These are taxpayer dollars, and we owe the American people the assurance that every dollar we are spending abroad is being spent on something that furthers our national interests. And so far, a lot of people who work at USAID have simply refused to cooperate. Then again, I wouldn't expect Congresswoman Omar to understand this. Her own daughter was claiming she's homeless after she and a handful of other students were slapped with suspensions after they were among the more than 100 protesters that were cuffed and hauled away for refusing to clear out from a tent encampment on an Ivy League school's campus not too long ago. I mean, talk about privilege, right? You know what else I found out, guys? That Omar apparently funneled nearly $2.8 million to her husband's political consulting company over a 1.5-year period. You see, Omar's campaign paid $1.6 million to East Street Group LLC, which is owned by her husband, Tim Minette, from the start of 2019 to July 22nd, 2020. Another $1.1 million was sent to the firm in the third quarter and $27,000 in the following weeks. And she wants to talk about percentages when defending USAID. Well, the $1.1 million figure represented nearly 70% of the $1.6 million that her campaign sent in those 3 months. So what do you guys think about that? She wants to talk about percentages. I guarantee she won't talk about that. Even former USAID official Mark Moyer, he said that a lot of them, meaning officials in the USAID, they were beholden or had ties to the previous administration, the Obama administration, and the large majority of them had voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. He even mentioned one particular meeting where they talked about how there was this aid that was going to Syria and they needed to hide it from the White House because they didn't want President Trump finding out about it and canceling it. And according to Moyer, he was effectively fired without due process. He has also alleged that the suspension of his security clearance was a form of retaliation for reporting waste, fraud, and abuse within the agency. Basically, what we're seeing here is Democrats just outright flailing as they try to challenge President Trump in his second term. So they're dusting off some old plays from a tired, dog-eared playbook here. No better example than Representative Al Green filing to impeach the president just 16 days into Trump's second term. Well, he certainly got what was coming to him on C-SPAN. Just listen to what this American patriot had to say to the congressman. Watch.
Said that the protests don't have a plan. Well, the plan is here. This is the plan. Protest, complain now, impeach later.
Let's get to calls because the lines have lit up. Richard in Savannah, Georgia, Republican. You're up first, Richard. Thank you. I watched you yesterday with the Democrat Party out protesting everything that Elon Musk is trying to do for the American people. The USAID is a 100% of money laundering scheme around the world, kickbacks back to the Democrat Party, whether it's through the Clinton Foundation in Haiti, $4.4 billion, and $84 million went to her daughter, Chelsea Clinton. All y'all have is impeachments and race and gender, et cetera, and you actually do nothing for the people of America today. I think the Democrats should sit back and let America see what it's like to reduce the people in government, the wasteful spending. And all y'all can do is just complain and be negative, and we're sick of it. And also,
Richard, let's have the congressman.
If I were to talk to that congressman, I would tell him to get over himself, because we the people, we stand with President Trump and his agenda. Even House Democratic Caucus Chairman Pete Aguilar, he basically left Green hanging on his impeachment filing. He said that this isn't a focus of the Democratic caucus, because seriously, guys, Democrats, they need to get it together, because right now they're just downright calling for insurrection. Here are some actual quotes from your Democratic officials. Senator Cory Booker in the United States Senate: "We will not cooperate." Senator Ed Markey: "There should be hundreds of thousands and millions of people descending on Washington, D.C." Representative John Garamendi: "We must resist. We must be in the streets." Well, House Speaker and Republican Mike Johnson pretty much summed it up. They have no rudder. They have no vision. They have no clear leader. The only message that they have is anti-President Trump. We saw it during the Harris campaign, and we're seeing it now. Didn't they prosecute January 6 protesters and said that Trump was guilty of insurrection? And now this? As White House spokesperson Carolyn Leavitt put it, for Democratic officials to incite violence and encourage Americans to take to the streets is incredibly alarming. They should be held accountable for that rhetoric. There's definitely going to be more draining in the swamp. I promise you that, guys. And when you drain the swamp, the crocodiles are going to start coming out. I'm just saying, we just got to be ready for them. You know what I'm saying, guys? Drop a quick comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this. Oh, and also, some suggested videos are going to be popping up for you guys at the end. Check those out. As always, thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you next time.